Oh boy, I have made, and along with some other people have made, these damn fake gamer fanboys of Nintendo so mad. They cannot handle the simple truth that their daddy Nintendo is ripping them off. So let's check out their comments, shall we? So with this person commenting, he sat there and responded saying that my video was stupid. I decided to try to mess with him, but the guy was too stupid to understand. But he said that my video is stupid because it is a ripoff of just another video that rides on someone else's content. Lame. Well, no shit that I'm riding on his content. That's what most YouTubers do here. Maybe not most, but a lot of YouTubers do not even make their own content. You think Austin John Plays makes his own content? He sits there and rips off and uses Nintendo's content to make his own content, for crying out loud. That was just stupid on your part, Alex something whatever 8233. Next up, we got one sitting there saying that I'm a loser. Well, guess what? What does that make you? You're the one that watched my video and then took it upon yourself to respond to it. And this has to be one of my favorite ones I keep hearing from people. You must be broke to be a true gamer. All because I sit there and criticize Nintendo's overpriced BS bullshit. No, I'm not broke. I probably make more money than you do, and I don't sit there and have mommy and daddy constantly buying me whatever I want. I actually have to pay for what I want, but the reason why that I have money and I'm not in debt and not a broke person is because I don't waste my money on stupid bullshit like you do. Now, I'm not going to go hard into this one because, you know, this person just misinformed, and I think they were trying to actually give constructive criticism, even though they're completely wrong. This is so weird and angry. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen weirder get an audience, but I just don't see how attacking someone who is just sharing info with a little bit of opinion is going to do you well. I wouldn't be surprised if you proved me wrong, but it gives off just incel energy. You can't change the price. That's something to be angry about. Sure, but why attack someone who has nothing to do with the price? Seems like you were just trying to feed off of someone more popular and doing it badly. You can still pivot and do like worthwhile critiques, but this is kind of pointless. Listen, I had another gaming channel where I tried to do that. It didn't work out. Okay, you have to stand out nowadays. And of course I'm feeding off of him. He is more popular. That's what he's doing. Nintendo is way more popular than he is, and he's feeding off Nintendo. Pretty much everybody does stuff like this, so this is nothing new. And just so you know, I have proved you wrong because I have another YouTube channel where I do stuff very similar to this, where I do more like angry reaction type stuff too, and I'm monetized and making money on that currently, so boom. Calling one of the best Nintendo YouTubers a fake gamer, it really isn't very bright on your side. This guy's referring to Austin John Plays. I don't know if he's really one of the best Nintendo YouTubers. He's one of the best Nintendo fanboy ones that I will agree with you on. And yes, he is a fake gamer. When you sit there and accept these price points and try to convince people to pay these price points, not being completely honest about it, then that makes you a fake gamer in my opinion. And you never responded back. Why is that, sir? Why is it not bright on my side? You know, I gotten over 1,300 views on that one video. Yeah, it doesn't seem a lot, but when you're starting off, that is pretty good. Fake gamer from a guy hiding behind a fake avatar. My avatar is badass, so you can go screw yourself for all I care. I've watched thousands of hours of Austin John playing games. Meanwhile, I've literally never even heard of you. Well, that's because I just started this channel. I'm a very, decently fast, up-and-coming rising star in my own mind. I'll admit that one. But trust me, you will hear me, I promise you. Austin John Plays has tons of followers. This is a classic troll tactic. Hit your wagon for some views. Hope this guy gets his payday. Don't worry, I will. And guess what? Austin John Plays does the same thing. Nintendo has way more followers than he does. At least Nintendo actually cares about their home country in some capacity. Sony, on the other hand, hiked the price of the PS5 and all the accessories in 2024 in Japan. Now, I'm not going to read the rest. You guys can go ahead and read the rest. Okay, where have you seen one of my videos where I have defended Sony doing price hikes? You will never find it. I'm against these price hikes. I will bash, even though I love Sony, I will bash Sony too. I'm not afraid. Nobody, listen, the one thing about me is I am pro-consumer. I am not pro-company. I am not pro-corporation. Screw these corporations. You think I care? No, I do not. You know, does it suck that the price hike happened? Sure. But guess what? I didn't have a YouTube channel back in 2020. Well, I didn't have this YouTube channel back in 2024. So what am I supposed to do with this, my guy? We should not be harsh on them because they earn so much money. For them, this is a meal in a good restaurant, which is very true. But you also have to understand that all these YouTubers that are gamers, you do realize that they get to write off all this stuff. Like I get to write off, you know, a portion of it on my taxes, at least here in America. I'm not speaking for every country. I don't know the tax laws in UK or Canada. I'm assuming that there's something that they get deducted. But here in America, I get to write off a portion of it on my taxes. Okay, so you know what? It doesn't cost me as much as the rest of the gamers. Most of the gamers do not get this luxury of writing it off on their taxes. Okay, now I can sit here and lie to you guys, and I can sit there and try to brainwash and manipulate you to keep the industry going like this and not give a fuck. But no, I am pro-consumer because I do not want you guys to get screwed over and have to waste your money. You think the Japanese should have to pay a 67% increase while Americans should only have to pay a 10% increase? This is insanely unfair to Japanese people, and you know it. No, I don't know it. Okay, you think I care that Japanese have to pay a 67% increase? You think I care? No, I don't give two shits. Okay, why should I care if you guys cannot afford it? You know, and this is going, he's talking about when I refer to that is bullshit that we have to pay $450, but Japan only has to pay $330. It is BS, okay? You know what? We should all have to pay the same. I completely agree with that one. There is no reason why I have to pay 45% and you guys only get to pay 33%. So you thought you got me on that one. You think I care how much of a percentage increase? Screw that. And then he also responded, keep saying 330. They're not paying for Switch 2s in USD. They're paying in yen. Using exchange rates in this conversion is blank when that country has had crazy inflation. No shit. I didn't know that Japanese money is different than American money. Wow. That was something new I just learned from you damn simpleton. Of course I knew that. Okay, but when you sit there and convert it into American money, that's what it comes to. No fucking shit. And you think I care if you guys have had crazy inflation? Honestly, I don't even think that this is a Japanese guy. I think this is some guy in America trying to be a troll and defending and caping for Nintendo and making bullshit excuses. But no, you don't think we've had crazy inflation? We've all had crazy inflation. It's nothing new. Respectfully, I think there are some bad takes in this video. The reason the system is cheaper in Japan is because the currency is weaker right now. But the Japanese consumer also purchases more games, so they know if they can get them to buy a console, they will make back more on software. The US market will still buy the Switch 2 regardless of price, and it doesn't make sense to price the new console at $330 when the OLED Switch is still priced at $350 in North America. I appreciate some of the things you called out in this video, but I don't think the pricing is that out there compared to the competition. No, it is very out there compared to the competition. And you know what? I don't know how you can sit there and say that Japan pays for more games. Well, probably because they must discount them severely for Japan to be able to afford them. But you know, most of Nintendo's revenue, the two top countries of Nintendo's revenue, okay, for definitely during the Switch time, was United States, accounting for over $4.45 billion, which is over a third. And then with Europe, it accounted for, I think I might have gotten the numbers wrong, but yeah, $4 billion in revenue just from America alone. And then Europe was number 2, which I believe was like $3 billion, which, so with Europe and America, now I know Europe's a continent and not a country, but we contributed more than all of Europe did. Okay. So most of their money comes from Europe and America. So Japan doesn't even contribute a third. So why should we have to subsidize Japan's inability just because their money is weaker? There are other countries where their money is weaker that's probably paying a lot more than Japan is. Okay, time for inflation school. Here's the price of the game adjusted for inflation. Some of Mario Kart releases. Super Mario Kart 1992 was $39.99. Adjust for inflation, $90.33. Mario Kart 64 1997 was $40, adjust for inflation at $80. The one on the GameCube was $50, adjust for inflation, $86.45. Oh wow, Mario Kart Wii was $50 and just for inflation, $74.25. I know it seems a lot, mainly as wages have not kept pace with inflation, but we're willing to splash out $90.33 on a supercard on the Super Nintendo. They didn't pay $90.33. You can try to sit there and adjust for inflation all you want to, but you're so damn. You thought you actually got me. You're so smart. You thought you got me. You sat there and looked up these talking points without doing your proper research. Oh, yeah, you really got me, you freaking damn simpleton. Listen, the reason why back then games were so expensive was because the manufacturing cost of making the game was so much more. Yes, development costs have rose here in this time compared to back in 1992, but it is very cheap to actually make the manufacturing of the damn games now. Okay, that's why for a long time the prices stayed the same, because as games went on, it became cheaper to make them versus how it was before. So that is the reason why that they were so much more expensive than they are nowadays. And also, they didn't sell nearly as many copies of the one on the Super Nintendo versus the one on the Nintendo Switch because the market was smaller. Okay, you ever notice why you go to a mom and pop store that sells a can of soup for $2.50 and then you go to Walmart and they sell it for $2? Because Walmart can sell for less of a price because they have a bigger market than the mom and pop, you damn freaking simpleton. I could bang on about how Amazing Prime is not worth it. Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo was over $90. I think it will be a better game than that. Okay, now, as a short thing, he brought up Prime about how much that they cost, so we don't need to get into that. But I would surely the fuck hope so that the new Mario Kart would be way better than the Super Nintendo. That one for the Super Nintendo came out over 3 decades ago. Okay, I'm not going to say my age because I don't need to say, but I was a very young kid when that game came out. So no shit, I would think this game is going to be better. There's more characters, the graphics are better, the gameplay is better. No shit, Sherlock, that this game is going to be better. I got to say, if Nintendo isn't greedy, then why are their games still full price when they're 8-year-old games? I'm just waiting for Xbox to mess up now. Now, honestly, I don't see how Xbox could have messed up more than what they did with the Xbox One. But I will have to sit there and say, I have not a whole lot of negative stuff to say about Xbox right now. Like, yeah, some of their games are mediocre or not very good. But when you get an amazing deal like Game Pass, there isn't much to complain about with Xbox. Now with Nintendo, if you notice, some of their games did go down in price. Okay, but the ones that are pretty much staying at full price that are 8 years old, I mean, they've gone down a little bit. You want to know why that they sit there and keep them at that price? People are like, oh, well, it's because we make a quality game, so this is what you're going to pay. No, they sat there and kept those damn prices because they were planning on releasing them onto the Switch 2, and if they lowered the price, they would not have been able to get away with raising the price on the Nintendo Switch 2. That is the reason why that they did that bullshit. So I guarantee you the games that they did discount, because if you look at Captain Toe Tracker, or even, well, no, Yoshi's Crafted World is kind of up there, but look at the Captain Toe Tracker, for instance, or the Mario Rabbids games, for instance, even though I forgot what company actually made them, but they're still IP, they're still using Nintendo's IP, so they probably do control the price of them. If you notice, those games dropped in price. They lowered it and discounted those games probably because they're just going to get the simple free upgrade is the reason why. Okay, Nintendo thinks they're smart when they're not. But unfortunately, it's not that Nintendo is smart. The Nintendo fanboys are just freaking simpletons is all they are. Who cares? Shit costs money. Buy it or don't. Stop being butthurt over shit you can't control. Well, with an attitude like that, of course you're not going to be able to control it. But no, you can control it. I guarantee you right now, look at the 3DS. It was not selling well when it first started. You know what they did? They dropped the price. Now, also, it had a lot to do with PlayStation releasing something far superior than the 3DS. Okay, but look at the Wii U. That thing didn't sell well. What did they do? They dropped the price. The Xbox One didn't sell well. What did they do? They dropped the price. Okay, when things don't sell well, they drop the prices. I guarantee you. Now, some of Nintendo's games that are horrible and shitty, yes, some of them do not drop in price. Look at freaking Mario Brothers Ship. That thing was a horrible game, and that thing is still selling almost at full price. All right, now this last comment is going to be coming from a video that I'm going to be reacting to from Burlisify. I think that's how you pronounce his stupid freaking name. This YouTuber made this video just to be an edgelord because who really agrees with your take? He responds, Literally, the vast majority, 150 million bought the Switch and over a billion games. Tens of thousands are seriously boycotting. I'm pretty certain that's a lot more than that. You think that you think if Nintendo continues on with this BS, they're going to sell 150 million consoles again? You are out of your freaking mind. The biggest reason, well, there was two big reasons why the Switch sold as well as it did. Okay, I'll give you three. Number one is it was on the go. You can sit there and play a handheld where the graphics and everything was good enough. Okay, then it was at a fair price, $300. Very fair price compared to what the PS5 was in the Xbox Series X. Okay, I bought my PS5 during the shortage, and it was like $500. Now I didn't pay the scalping prices; that wasn't going to happen. And then he was like, over a billion games have sold. You think that Mario Kart World's going to sell nearly as much as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did? You are out of your living mind if you think that people are going to pay an extra $20 for that bullshit of a game. Okay, so there's going to be a lot more than tens of thousands. Yeah, I actually really did enjoy this video. This was a fun one to make. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to continue making more videos like this. If I get enough people to comment, I can sit there and continue it on. But that's it for my video. Please give it a like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay vigilant.